Okay, let's hope that everything is working. Just doing a quick little test here. I'm going to do a little bit of redesign for this trailer using Krotos Studio, which is an awesome bit of software which can basically create sounds and sound effects using AI and like tons and tons of libraries that it puts together. So it's a really cool bit of software and something that I think would be quite fun to explore trying to redesign this trailer, because I noticed it's not got much music in it, if any, and is very sort of just atmospheric based. So I've already gone in here and I have removed some of the background noise from all the dialogue in the trailer itself. So literally all we're left with is the ident.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls.
And the dialogue that is at the start of the trailer.
The FBC's research department set up a facility,
which I've cut all the background noise out of for the most part, using an awesome plugin called DX Revive Pro. So yeah, we're just then left with dialogue and the idents. Literally there's nothing else. It's all been removed here, and we've just got the ident at the end. Cool. So to begin with the redesign, it's tricky knowing where to start really, and it's down to your own preferences. I tend to go with atmospheres first, so I kind of have a little flick through and see what locations we've got and what the overall tone is. But what I'll do is I will play the original first. Hopefully everything can be heard clearly. So I will play this first, and you can hear what the original trailer is like if it's all working. It's not working. Maybe I need to put the output here. It's still not working, is it? Interesting. This is the fun of Pro Tools. I do have it busting out there. Do you know what? Let's bring it down to our... Here, just try this.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Cool. So pretty intense. A lot of noises going on there. You know, I don't really consider that bit at the end dialogue, so I've just sort of left it out of there. I know it's part of the story, I guess, and everything, but for a redesign, I wouldn't really worry about keeping that in there, because that seems very stylized. I would consider that design work myself. Right, so that's how the original sounds. Let me just check if that is now routing through in a way that people can hear with it being stereo.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I want to just...
Sure. So yeah, it's just it can be a really cool piece for us to just mess around on for half an hour or so, of just sort of seeing what Krotos can bring to a sound design like this. So you got atmospheres here, some really cool areas, a forest, stormy forest, the entryway that's getting creepier. Just noticed that that's Federal Bureau of Control, which is the game Control. It's pretty neat. So yeah, and then the creepy hallway that builds up. I mean, we might not get that far today, consider this is just a trial, just having a little mess around for half an hour or so. Yeah, I'm not too sure what we can do with Krotos when it comes to building up the tension for that bit, but we'll see. But we'll just start with the atmospheres. When it comes to doing a redesign yourself, or sound design in general, when you're starting on a project, you can begin wherever makes sense to you and how you are structuring it for yourself. For me, it makes sense for me to begin with atmospheres and build it up from there, because that's how I can kind of get the tone and everything set. I can sort of delve into the atmosphere, everything, how it will make me feel by the atmospheres and those kind of sounds, and then that enables me to then develop that tone into the other sound effects that I'll start adding as I watch through again and again, and yeah, it then can impact the sound effects and the style of sound effects that I'll put in. So yeah, for me, atmospheres is a good starting point, but you can begin wherever you want. If you've got a more sort of active sound design, like a character walking with some action and stuff, you might feel like a good starting point for you is to focus on the footsteps or the Foley, or sort of maybe the bigger set piece kind of sound effects, because you just want to start with the big pieces first and then go back to the atmospheres and stuff later to fill in the gaps. It's all down to you really, but I'm going to start with the atmospheres. It'd be interesting to see what Krotos can bring to this. So starting up here, the forest scene, right? Let's see what Krotos has for us here. I just realised I don't have a chat or anything up for me to see. I have no idea if anybody's talking to me, which is really bad. Okay, good. Nobody's asked anything yet. Right, so Krotos Studio, amazing bit of kit here. It has an ambiences tab and an AI search area, so you can narrow it down if you're not too sure what you're looking for isn't in a specific category here. It can be a little bit daunting when you go into these lists and you see all of these options, and especially for the more vague ones, which are just sort of cinematic, and it's kind of like, okay, that means like sound effects that you can use in so many various situations. So yeah, there's a lot to sort of go through here, and a lot of searching for the right thing. But that's what makes it fun to use Krotos, I think, and makes it fun sound designing something with just this one bit of software, because it's so versatile. And then you've got all the Foley options in here, footsteps, and within these, so you've got Boots Winter here, so if you had a character walking through a winter scene, you can can change the pitch. So, you know, if you had a really tiny person or a creature or something, bigger creature, bigger person with heavier footsteps. Terry bites. Wonderful. But yeah, that's the software. I'll explain it better in a future stream, which I'll actually clip out and make content from, because this has been a disaster so far and no one's watching, luckily. Right, so we'll start with this one anyway. We need some kind of foresty atmospheric scene. So Krotos, what kind of ambiences do they have by default? I think we'll need a more cinematic kind of thing. But ethereal abyss. Cool. So yeah, within this you can start manipulating different elements of it that you want to focus on. So I feel like for this kind of scene, if we were going to use this sound, we'd need an airy kind of atmosphere. So if I drag that over to there, see, already that's sounding really nice. Cool, and then we could probably change the pitch to make it a bit more deep. And we could start introducing some other elements like that pulse, which would be building some tension. I don't know how it does it, it's magic, but it's so good. And then obviously with the pitch you can do cool stuff like lower the pitch as you're playing this sound. So for maybe as you're approaching this building here and you wanted that kind of effect of like it getting creepier as you're getting more close, you could drop the pitch, something like that. So as you're approaching, I can drag that in and show you what I mean. Just drag it onto any track to begin with. Got stereo effects tracks down here. I mean, you know, it was just the end of it there, wasn't it? We can have that.
We had any clue what was waiting for us in there? We had any...
I mean, it's way over the top, but yeah, something like that. You know, if I just trim that to the shot change. Again, this is kind of easier to do, matching shot changes when you're actually working on something that's not a redesign, where you've got an edit. You can bring it into a software like Eddy Load, which will separate any shot changes into something physical on your Pro Tools timeline, so you can see where the frame cuts are, and then when you bring it in your atmospheres, you can slot everything into where those scene changes are. So your atmosphere will cut where the shot changes. But since I've just ripped this, we have none of that information, so we have to go in and manually cut things down and match them in. You know, but that's an idea, like an example of an idea for how you could manipulate the pitch when you're recording a sound effect or something. An idea there. But we're not going to use that. That was just, I couldn't believe how good that actually sounded. This plugin is absolutely amazing, and it makes it easily accessible for anybody to get into sound design. And I think it's particularly useful for editors. You know, I don't want editors to take sound design away from sound specialists, but it can really flesh out an edit and enable them to work with the clients a bit better of getting better sound effects in there in an edit before it goes to be refined in audio. But it's also great for things like this. Right, so we need a forest sound. So as cool as ethereal, I think it's ethereal, Abyss is, we probably need an actual kind of foresty atmosphere. I might try the airy atmosphere for that. I'll slot everything in. Yeah, great, Terry. But we should probably get some actual forest. I don't know if it exists in here, and that's the thing with Krotos Studio, is you kind of have to dive in on all these different things and just try them out, because it seems like the kind of atmosphere we need for this forest is actually buried in this ethereal abyss, in this airy. Yeah. Is there not a search function? There is, but it's a bit, as it says before you click it, it's in beta, so it kind of, it does find what you're looking for, but again, it's, I'll show you, it'll be, you know, things that you're not entirely looking for. But they have different elements in each category, so Forest Grove might have more wind. Yeah, see, so the wind element of this one is useful. Maybe not the leaves. So the generic forest, it's too many birds and things, you know, so you can remove them, but you still got the stream and the animals. So it helps you narrow it down, obviously, with a keyword, but you still have to delve into each one and maybe get elements from different ones to piece together in your edit. So you like marshland. It's not really foresty, but it might have elements that you can use to help build a forest yourself. No, we don't. Yeah. Yeah. So it, you know, search function does narrow it down, but you still have to do a lot of delving into different elements to make it work. Cinematic, I mean, that might have more of what we're looking for. Ooh. Flashback Psycho. What's that? Ah, it's so cool. Like Dark Storm, maybe that's gonna be quite nice for this kind of atmosphere. There's building some tension here. And you got the rain, you got the wind, but then you got that creepy fog with that mountain in the distance. Yeah, see, that's just wind and rain. Oh. Wow, okay, yeah, that's a hit. Do you know what? I think that ethereal abyss was actually pretty decent, to be fair. So I would like to start it with air. It's even got some nice rain in there. Yeah, that's nice. Alright, we'll just do 30 seconds of that, because then we've got enough to play around with. And yeah, it's so simple to use. Now you've got your recording, you can literally just drag it onto your timeline. It's perfect. So I've got Atmos tracks here that I use. Keep everything separated. Again, I really wish I had the shots all marked out by Eddie Load. Do you know what? That's actually quite nice. I'll fade it up a couple of frames. How would you do creaking tree trunks with that? Do you know what? That's a good question. I mean, it's got twigs and stuff here. But these AI ones are, I think that's where it's generating the audio in real time versus using recordings and library stuff and manipulating it. It's actually creating this real time. So it can be a bit more hit and miss, and you do get some kind of fake sound to it. I think it sounds a bit digital. That's cool. So I combine something like that with maybe, can you do cracking eggs? Something like that. You combine those two things together, pitch them down. You can even do the pitch here. Wow. And you'll make it work. You know, throw in some leaves. From one of the ones that we went through earlier. I don't know if... Yeah, because it would be in the wind trees. You know, combine those elements. You've got tree trunks cracking and creaking. Cool. It's a bit loud.
The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House.
Cool. So that's already set a nice atmosphere. Now, I don't know what this can do for thunder, but a nice drone I was thinking would fit in here. Something that sets a bit of a foreboding kind of tone, makes you feel not at ease with it. So we can try a couple of these. Ooh. It's kind of nice. So good. So we're affecting the pitch again. Okay, I quite like that one. Not too sure if it fits at the moment. So we'll see what other ones they've got. Wasteland, that might be a cool one. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. Ooh, okay, I like that. I might just slap that in there. Add in some of that warping bass. That's pretty creepy. Be nice to have that kind of coming in over this forest shot. We'll fade it in a bit.
The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there.
Cool. Don't need them over the indoor shot. So we can cut both. There, add a little fade out.
It's in there. It's in there.
Inside would be really nice to have just a stale air feeling. I'm gonna give it an extra frame over there. Cool. You always want to put fades on things so you don't have clicks. If you just cut audio when it's playing back, the waveform when it's clipped off will just give you a horrible click sound.
Us in there.
I mean, that's a bit over the top with that fade. Should only be a few frames really. Cool. So this, we're just quickly laying the groundwork of atmospheres at the moment, just to get a shape of how it's, if the tone's right, if it's coming together all right. What's going to be nice for this kind of room? We need some kind of stale, creepy vibe. Morbid sewers. Quiet village. Bus interior, airport interior. Yeah, see, we're not going to find something particular in there. But the drone section. Darkness and living bliss. Anxiety twirl. I just need to hear what this sounds like. Whoa! Whoa. That could sound really good towards the end of this, where you're going down that hallway and it's building up. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. This is where it's hard not to get distracted when you discover things in this plugin, in this standalone app. It's so good. Oh, I really want to try that though. Right. I think that would be really cool. I'm going to just keep that on atmosphere for now. Let's just see if that actually works. It's a bit over the top, but wow, okay, that's not actually too bad. Wow, I'd have it end somewhere like that, and then use some kind of like suck back, which is going to trigger Terry. Suck back sound which is kind of like where everything goes, just to sort of have the impact of that orchestral riser finishing. So we go, yep, and then you have the jump scare. Using this as a standalone. Yep, standalone. You can use it as a plugin in Pro Tools itself, and then you don't have to drag and drop. It's kind of like it's all in the session already, similar to when you use Sound Miner or a sound library. You know, you can sort of just open it up within Pro Tools yourself, play it through Pro Tools, instantly have it on a timeline. But you know, I don't see any point in doing all that and routing things through and having a plugin running and stuff when you can just have a standalone that you click and drag. It just works so flawlessly when the server's online. So I've lost track of what I was doing now. I kind of got distracted and I really like that sound. And I was talking about a kind of suck back sound. I don't know if they have them on here. Again, it's a bit hit and miss. You can't rely on this for everything. But as a little challenge, as a little example, it's finding what you can work with in here. I mean, there was that cinematic. A trailerize might have it. There you go. Ooh. There we go. Let's try that one. You know what? I should probably put that on sound effects. There you go. Timing's a little bit off, but there you go, and you can have some. Again, I don't think Krotos Studio is going to have screams, so you have to kind of fill in the gap. But in future streams, this is just a test and a trial and sort of seeing if everything works, which it wasn't working. In future streams, I will sort of. It would be fun to limit myself to only using Krotos and stuff, and just if all we've got is cartoon emotes, then I guess that's all we'll have, you know. So we could end up with some very interesting results, but that's the fun of it. So yeah, I don't think you're going to get like screams and stuff. You'd have to delve into a sound library of your own or record your own. It's not good for any kind of like human sounds. It's crazy how good the quality is out of the box. Yeah, it genuinely is. I think that's because it uses data from their sound libraries that they've been building for years. So it's all based on really high quality recording material. Sick. Alright. So we still need to add to this. We got very distracted with everything else. I wonder if there's thunder. Ooh, okay. There we go. We don't need it as intense, so it's got an intensity scale here. Perfect. Oh man. See, yeah, some of these are so good. So with this, for example, if you had a scene that started out calm and was building up, you could slowly drag this down. You know, over the course of however long your scene is, and build up to incoming storm. Back down again. You know, you could do that. It's so versatile. That is so good. Yeah, so things like that, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, this is some software that everybody needs. So good. It just throws me off because I discover things like that. So we back on what we're doing. We don't need rattling and see how that goes. It's a bit much. See, that's the problem though. We don't want any of that rattling effect, but that's always going to be in there if you want to tone it down a bit. Let's see what else we've got. Why Party Blowers is coming up in Thunder, I don't know. Let's have a look. Maybe I've pitched that down. Weird. See, yeah, don't know why that's coming up in Thunder, but it has. Slow Fury. That's so good. Alright, let's try this other Wind and Rain one. Ooh, okay. So we could have light rain like that, and then it's got a thunder button. So good. Alright. So like, if you don't have the time, to go out and make these recordings, you know, you're under pressure, you're just throwing together something for a very quick turnaround project. Advertising, you know, you tend to not get a budget or time to go out and record, so you do rely on libraries most of the time. I mean, this does such a good job of like taking away paying for those sound libraries and delving into sounds that everybody regurgitates on all the content, and you know, making something that would have to be layers from a sound library that everybody else is using and pulling from. it's such a good tool. It really is. It feels like cheating a little bit, yeah, but it's making it so much more accessible, and it means that anybody can give this a go, really, and it can unleash your creativity. And that's what really annoys me about the sound industry and the film industry and media and everything, is there's so much gatekeeping and people keeping you from, you know, being creative and getting to do this work, because they say it has to be done in a certain way with certain tools and all this money. And no, you can get something like this and you can make these sound designs, you can make this work that can compete. And as long as you make it sound good, as long as what you make sounds good, it doesn't matter how you've done it. I wouldn't consider it cheating. I think it's creative, and yeah, it's such a good tool. It really is. So just a bit of this light forest and rain with some thunder. And again, I mean, it's a bit of a toss-up as to what kind of thunder you're going to get. And it just cut the rain out then. But those first couple, you know, that could be... Let's try that.
False. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just...
I mean, a bit of mixing going on.
It's time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility.
Maybe not. Maybe...
In Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had...
Cool. So, you know, I've taken a long time to do this because I've been faffing around and things haven't been going well, and I'm still getting used to doing this kind of stream. But, like, you know, really, if you've got the ideas, Krotos Studio can help you put together a convincing atmosphere in minutes. You know, we've layered this up with 3 different things here, you know, and it's working.
The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there.
You know, that's pretty nice, you know. And then what I do next after, you know, working on the atmospheres, you know, I'm conscious about time today. I'm just literally testing this out. I'm not going to do the whole thing, although can do later. For today, I just focus on this opening, just as an example. You know, now that the atmosphere's in place and you've watched it through a few times, what I've started thinking about is punctuating the cuts and helping that tone setting. So for something like this, just a hard cut from black with the eeriness, rather than having the atmosphere just fade up. You know, which is a bit awkward, and it kind of just... Oh, it's gone. What I'd like to add is some kind of, like, deep hit. So... again, it's a bit tricky to find your way around and remember where you heard things. Oof. No. No. What we need is some kind of, like, boom. Some kind of hit. A deep hit. Morbid hit. Yes. Okay, so hits are very, very effective in trailers and in grabbing people's attention and just setting a tone. So, what we got? There we go. Oh, that adds some kind of screaming in there. Ooh, that is cool. Right, but we want some kind of deeper hits. So okay, no, not that. Like that. That is nice. Right, and get some of that stress sound, which I think is like creaking and screaming. Get that out of there. Let's try that. Maybe a slightly softer impact. I think that's what this will be doing. I think that was still a bit over the top. That was cool. Alright, maybe we just need pure sub on that. Oof. Try mood. Okay, maybe this isn't the right one to go with. Let's try that low fury. Was that it? Okay, that's it. Something like that. We drag that in. Let's try that.
False. The FBC's research Bureau's first time in Bright Falls.
There we go. That's nice. And, you know, I've had another thought of what would help that transition is if we did have that thunder just breaking in. I think it's on this one. So here's where the temptation for me would just be, I need a good thunder, I'll go into my library and grab a thunder. But using just this software, we've got to kind of make this work. Good. Right. So if we blend that into the start here, as she's saying a thing.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House.
Cool. And then I really did like that. Low Fury. I think we need another one. Another similar thing. Ooh. That's nice. Let's see how that fits in when we get the shot of the lake house. Let's find the right frame for it.
Lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for.
It's a little bit cheesy, but
The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there.
Ah. I think that's kind of working.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there.
Alright. That's kind of neat. Ooh. I was just thinking I might have to replace that first one with something very low like that. Like that. Right. Because that just seemed a little bit... We'll keep it there. But
His first time in Bright Falls.
yeah, okay, that's better.
The FBC's research department set up a facility.
Do you know what would help that thunder as well? Reverb. So I've got my plugin already sort of set up here. Go in and tweak where I want the reverb to really kick in. I use just a very simple revibe, which is a stock plugin, so anybody can use this. I sort of have it default set to 55% wet, which means it's not that intense. It's a very nice, subtle reverb. So if I solo that so you can hear it. Nice, right? So this is it without. Alright, and then this is it with. Cool. So I think that just kind of helps in a very eerie atmosphere.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The lake house.
I mean,
If I had,
that hit is a bit random, isn't it?
if I
It's a little bit weird, a little bit eerie, like it doesn't make sense, and that's kind of why I went with it in the first place, but it just stands out a bit much. We might need to replace that one too. I'm just going to mark that down as weird.
The FBC's research department set up a
Right,
facility.
we definitely need wind and stuff. We need to enhance that. It's very flat. So let's see what we can find. Windstorm, that's going to be nuts, I'm sure. Ooh. But the versatility of this software, like just then when I was messing around, if you wanted something that was like flying around the screen, you know, like whoosh whoosh whoosh, you can do that. It's so good. It's so good. Right, anyway. Let's see what wind whoosh is. Yeah, see, you can do panning and stuff as well. So if you did have something going from left to right of the screen and you wanted to track that, you can even do that in this app without then having to do it in Pro Tools or whatever DAW software you're using. You don't have to manually pan even if you're matching footage. It's so good. So you could do a left to right whoosh. It's so good. Like usually you do that within Pro Tools itself in the mix. You putting the final touches to things, you want things to track correctly, you'd put it through your desk and, you know, pan it physically and stuff. You can still do that, of course. It's not going to be perfect, I think, matching it with your mouse in an app like this. But it's definitely useful. It's super cool. You're causing havoc with my sub. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting very distracted. Future streams I won't be so all over the place and messing around with sound so much, so it won't be messing up your messing with your sub. What's low blast? Oh, now that's gonna be messing with your sub, Terry. Oh, that's so cool. See, that's nice. Make it more intense. Nice. I think we've got plenty to use there. So then just including that, let's find frame. Very low, obviously, because it's cool. And it would be nice to then cut that. It would give you a nice sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Juxtaposition of like going from the windy forest to suddenly when you get near this building, everything goes a bit more still. Let's just check in. Yep, so it'll be there. So then with everything else, it's just only Atmos. Cool. I'd probably have it fade. Probably extend that fade a bit. Let's try that. There you go. Right, so then with everything else,
Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept...
yeah, I think that hit there is very weird, but I'm going to keep it for now. But, you know, look what we've been able to put together very quickly, just using one bit of software. Yeah, I love it.
Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on.
Cool. So again, I think we need a little bit of a suck back like we put in this bit. Maybe not so intense. Something similar, I think. Sort of welcoming you into the eerie, abandoned building. I'm going to put a marker there of just where it is. So, it was in here, wasn't it? It was Low Fury. Was it? Where was it? This is the problem with the app, though. I get very lost. Right, we're just gonna have to do a rise search. Where's the soccer ball? Chaos Riser. Whoa. Okay. Can you tag / bookmark favorites? You probably can. No, I think there's a pro version, and within that one you can mark things out. Where is it? I think it advertises it somewhere. But yeah, I think there is a version where you can make presets. That's it. You can make presets. So if you really like something for a particular project that you're working on, you can go through and make presets of things. So then you'll have a list of, oh, here's a preset I made for this suck back or this hit or whatever. And you can go back in and then either get the same one for consistency through a project, or then you'll have that sound that you can then manipulate again a bit to have it somewhere else but sound a bit different. So which would be perfect for now, where we want that kind of suck back kind of moment, but I don't know where that is. Dark entry. Ooh. Wonder what comes up if I put suck. Always a dodgy thing to put into a search bar. Okay. Oh, where was it then? Doo-ba-doo-boo. Howling Call. Sounds interesting. Okay. Morbid hit. We did that, didn't we? Yeah. Ooh. Well, you can make one from this then. Let's do it. I just don't like that kind of sound. Oh, okay, that got rid of it. Would that work? If we reverse that, that's how you usually can create a good suck back sound. Just take a hit and then reverse it. Let's just try it, see if this works. It's a bit random, but we'll experiment with it. So then in Pro Tools, go to Audio Suite, Other. God, I have so many plugins that I'd never use that I've installed because they were free. What is all this? Anyway, Reverse is in Other, and then you can take a sound and reverse it. So if you got a hit, when you reverse it, it sort of sucks back into it. Perfect. So we got that. Could try that. So we wanted to use that on that bit, that marker there. Oops. Let's just see how that works. Ah, that's pretty neat.
If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Sweet. I mean, we just need that kind of empty tone atmosphere for that. Which I think we'll find in drone. That's what I was looking for, wasn't it? I got so distracted. Ooh, hollow. Could be good. Or something like that. It's pretty weird, isn't it? Let's maybe try that. Yeah, let's try that. Let's give us enough to work with there. So drag that in. Oops. I dragged that over. That must we already had. Cool. One thing to be careful of in Pro Tools.
Oh, and I just kept on driving.
Does that work? Oh, maybe that bit. Oh, I like that, yeah. Yeah, I like that bit. Cool. That's neat. Alright. And we've got the elevator. You need a typical kind of ding kind of sound. What do you get if you put ding? Not such a risky search. Building site. What? This is cool. Wow. Yeah, see, what a cool bit of software. It's so distracting though, because you discover all these great things about it. Alright, so again, this is something you'd have to probably record yourself or delve into a sound library for. It's going to be tricky in Krotos. What can we use for... It's got sleek UI. Is that good? That's not going to sound like an elevator. We might be a bit stuck for this kind of sound. Oh, I don't know. Glass and loads of reverb. Just need like one bing. What happens if you put bing in? Anything in weapons that we could use? No. Cartoon? Toon power up. Could use the end of that. It's not going to work. Let's just see what happens. It's not gonna work. Imagine what we could try. Actually, I'd get rid of that. Do you know what? Maybe some reverb. the pitch is really not right, but I don't want to faff around on it too much longer. That's so random. That's not going to work.
On driving.
It'll work. It won't. But I think with enough time, you could find the right pitch. All we need is just a dong, but we don't want to use libraries because that's cheating in this case. But yeah, you could literally spend a bit of time, but you could find the right kind of ding and then just make it work, I think.
Done driving.
That's just so random. That's not going to work. But anyway, elevator sound would go there. So let's see.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Ooh, it's actually not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Yeah, it's just... Is that a bell? No, chime. Flashback chime. Hotel room. I like that. And you know what? I'll keep it in mono because
I would have just kept on driving.
so random. That will go nicely with where we put the bing though. Bing ding. Why am I opening up Moonlight? Did not want to do that. Hotel room. Is that got? I bet you that somewhere in the background atmosphere that you can mess around with has like an elevator ding. But it's all going to be blended into everything else. Yeah. Christ, that's loud. It's going to be something. Huh? Let's try that. Oh, it doesn't seem happy about that one though. It won't let me drag that one in. That's a bit weird. Doesn't like it. Likes that one though. Do you know what? It makes no sense, but it's all we got. Let's try those two. I don't think that's gonna work. So random. Let's I
would have just kept on driving.
This is a weird redesign.
If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
Don't know what to make of that. Oh, hit Moonlight again. It is what it is. What we got for shutters? Sliding door. There we go. Because it's not quite long enough, we will combine those two. Just try that. Combine them. So then we have. There we go. So just combine those two effects, so we can create some more of it. Need a bit more. So random. I don't know if that all works. It obviously doesn't work because we need a elevator ding, but for purposes of this experiment,
I would have just kept on driving.
neat. Alright, and then what will help that as well is the reverb, which we'll add in here.
I would have just kept on driving.
Way too much.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
It's very random. And we got the bit at the end. Not bad. Not bad.
First time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House.
Sorry.
If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
I mean, I don't think that sounds too bad. Clearly, there needs to be more detail, much more detail going into this atmosphere and stuff here. But as a starting point, I think we've created something pretty neat. With weird sound effects, but you know.
If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
It works. I think it works. I'm quite happy with that. And as a little, test for streaming and doing this kind of thing, you know what? I don't think that went too bad. And I will probably continue this in the same way. And what I'd like to do as well is actually play a game and clip out from it whilst playing it, and then going back, still on the same stream, and starting to put something together using Krotos and some sound libraries, and just seeing what we can make. I think it'd be quite fascinating. But yeah, I mean, if we compare this to the original, it's going to be so much more detailed.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
See, that's what we're missing, that elevator ding. But I don't think we did too bad.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls. The FBC's research department set up a facility. The Lake House. If I had any clue what was waiting for us in there, I would have just kept on driving.
I think that is pretty cool. It's obviously going in a different direction. It's much more eerie, quiet. I'd say a bit more off-putting. Yeah, more eerie. But I think it still works. And obviously this is all within the restrictions of Krotos and putting it together just using one bit of software. But it just shows you what you can create so easily now, and it is way more accessible for everybody to do. And I would love to dive into breaking it down even more for everybody, and yeah, using this tool with some sound libraries, with everything else, and show people just what you can make. So yeah, I hope it's been good, Terry. I hope that everything was alright with the stream. Yeah, so I'm just going to end it there, awkwardly, because I don't know how to do this. And there's my stream set up. Perfect. But yeah, okay, that's all for now. Ciao.